Right. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for taking the time to join today. Um, we're going to go ahead and start recording this session. We have some more folks coming in. My name is Joe Kim. I'm the Federal Civilian Senior Sales Executive on the Creative Workflows team.
And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark Moyes. I'm the Service Advisory Solution Consultant with ServiceNow on the Creative Workflow and responsible for working with our federal customers to help them automate and improve their operations. So before we get started, everyone has been muted. You have the ability to click on the chat icon if you want to ask a question. We also have the ability to ask questions at the end. And if you want to leave the meeting, you have the leave icon. You have all the tools at your disposal to follow that meeting. The meeting is being recorded and will be shared after the presentation today. All right. Let's go ahead.
All right. Thanks again for joining us today. We wanted to begin today's session by sharing some real ServiceNow customer stories and how they used our low-code platform, ServiceNow Creative Workflows, and the App Engine solution for their emergency management use case needs. So we'll start with the state of Florida. With a death toll of 102 and counting and estimated economic losses topping 67 billion, Hurricane Ian could wind up as the deadliest storm in Florida history. And since Ian made landfall near Fort Myers in September 2022, ServiceNow was there to help right away. From the moment ServiceNow began supporting Florida's response to Hurricane Ian, ServiceNow became the foundation for what became a rapid and robust digital response to a natural disaster. Of the 835,000 households where someone was reported missing, nearly 90% had responded to phone calls, text messages, or other contact methods. And of those respondents, nearly 99% reported themselves as being safe. ServiceNow helped with those efforts by providing a portal for missing.florida.gov. This became a central platform for missing household members. And to support internet operations for shelter care requests, inventory management was developed to support the first deployment of Starlink terminals in response to a natural disaster. Internet access helped determine missing persons had been found by ingesting and then correlating data from every source possible, including the launch of safe.florida.gov. NGOs set up distribution sites and hotspots for internet access, where they handled application process built on ServiceNow, supported management of distribution for resources and devices needed to support emergency response team and constituents on the ground. They used AI capabilities for more than 44,000 phone numbers and more than 20,000 unique households, and the ingestion of more than 100,000 locations tagged by urban search and rescue teams in the field, which was all facilitated by ServiceNow. The CIO of the state of Florida said his team took all data points in the ServiceNow records to start clearing those records by way of either somebody responding to AI that they deployed out of the contact center that came back to safe.florida.gov and notified that they were safe or they were at locations search and rescue teams had been to. So after seeing what was possible on the ServiceNow platform in a completely reactive posture, the state of Florida was eager to see what ServiceNow could do for Floridians once they got back to a proactive posture and continue their mission to revolutionize the delivery of government services. Currently, they're using ServiceNow for housing assistance, case and task capabilities to assist those in need of permanent housing and a communication platform where they centralize constituent needs and experience data. And Mark, I believe you wanted to go over how ServiceNow aligns with the ServiceNow emergency management process.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. So when we look at where ServiceNow can help with emergency management response, right? So I think it's important to look at the national preparedness goal that has been defined by the government, which contains 5 mission areas from prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery, right? So we want to make sure that we highlight where ServiceNow can help. Next. right? So with ServiceNow's cloud-based platform, right? So we have a digital workflow and automation capabilities that can digitize any type of workflow, streamline any type of work that needs to be done across those 5 phases of emergency management. So if we look at the prevention phase of emergency management, ServiceNow can help identifying potential risk, provide training and simulation, and disseminate public information, and alert the public about any potential problem that may occur to prevent them. In the protection phase, right, I think it's crucial to manage the screening, the access control, and the intelligence sharing, so that we make sure that we not only protect the information, but we can share the intelligence across agencies, and we can manage the ability to manage all the assets, to monitor the state of those assets, and to make sure that we can prevent any potential threats as well. In the mitigation phase, we want to promote community resilience, right? Which means that we want to assess the risk of the disaster and identify any type of threats and hazards. With ServiceNow, we have those capabilities outside the box in the platform, where we can allow to engage with communities, assess risk, calculate any type of metrics, and help you develop any mitigation measures to minimize the impact of emergencies. And then when we go into the response phase, we can use ServiceNow to report and document incidents. Right? So ServiceNow is really strong in terms of incident management on the IT side, but we can leverage those capabilities to any type of workflows. So that can be those emergency scenarios, manage tasks, manage assets, and ensure that we provide the most critical response to those emergencies. And then when we've been dealing with the response and we are now in the recovery phase, it's essential to restore the infrastructure systems, right? So we can work on providing continuity of operation, and before even the recovery, we can help also manage a business continuity plan. Right? So we have tools in the platform, multiple applications that can help with that. And we also have the ability to manage, housing, to manage different type of mass services as well, from the response and to the recovery, transition those assets, making sure that all is taken care of. All right. Click next, Joe. And the last thing is that across all those mission areas, before that, there was a last item. Right? At the bottom, right? So across all those 5 mission areas, so ServiceNow provides automation, capabilities, and the ability to manage all the allocation of resources, people, assets, any type of assets across all those mission areas. And because everything is in one platform, we have the ability to provide performance tracking and reporting to make sure that everything is monitored continuously, and provide ability to continually improve the workflows. Click next. What we wanted to do is take the pulse of what do you think the aspects of emergency management you're looking to improve. Feel free, go ahead, and you can check a couple of answer here, or you can answer, click select other, and specify in the chat your answer. So Ashley, are you seeing some response coming in your way?
Yes, there's a pretty good mix across all of these. Right now, it looks like resource management has 7 selections, 22% of the votes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So everyone, you can click on the chat icon, and you can see the response lives. Pretty nice. Feel free to add additional comments within resource management. It's actually pretty vast, or if any type of I see 5 people checked on the consolidation of systems automation. So if you feel free, go ahead and share more details about any specific use case you have in mind, anything that is a problem in your current environment that we can, follow up with you and have some good conversation about how ServiceNow could help. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. So, emergency management response here. So what we want to talk about is all the amazing things that our customers are using ServiceNow for. And so, unfortunately, when we talk about emergency management, it's always about, catastrophic events that occur, right? And so in 2020, for example, was one of the worst year for U.S. wildfires. It burned twice as many acres of forest as in 2019. It was pretty bad. And that really creates a huge challenge for firefighters agencies because you have those fires are actually getting bigger and bigger. They go through a wider area, and there's a need to have multiple U.S. government agencies to track the data where and how and when the fire starts, and track all the equipment. And it's really a big struggle to manage those resources effectively. Next. So when you look at the spread of those fires and the systems that the agencies used in the past, they had actually a difficult situation where they had multiple legacy systems that were not able to efficiently connect together, collaborate efficiently. And so this led to inconsistency in fire reporting, and a lot of efforts, could be duplicated along the way. And even some dispatchers said that they had to enter GPS coordinate by hand into 26 different systems. And by having making an error of a single digit, or you just moving a period into the coordinates, could send crews and resources to another county or state. So in those situations, the National Interagency Fire Center looked into a solution that could help them streamline their effort and really foster better collaboration across all the agencies that are involved. Next. So what they came in that they worked with ServiceNow and a partner of ServiceNow called Cask, and they built Cask with the multiple agencies work together to build an application called IROC on the ServiceNow platform. IROC is the interagency resource ordering capability, and it's been a huge help by first consolidating 26 separate systems into just one unified platform. There are other systems involved, but moving many applications down into one significantly helps into that collaboration. And then there are some areas of the processes that were involved that allow them to shorter the response time from 10 minutes to 10 seconds. And that brings a lot of efficiencies. And when you think about the spread of those wildfires, right, the system right now is able to coordinate the work of 9 federal, state, tribal, and local agencies. And during the peak of the wildfire seasons, there is about 10,000 staff at all levels of the government. And so they do all this coordination on the ServiceNow platform. And so some agencies actually using the platform to qualify personnel that are used into fighting those fires into that platform as well. So it's very versatile. It's not just about tracking incidents and reporting those incidents. It's really becoming a versatile platform that is being expanded and provide additional value as it grows. right? So, and even to emphasize that versatility, click next. All right. So this is a quote from Sean Peterson, the assistant center manager. So it's not only used for wildland firefighting, but it's also used for all type of incidents, including FEMA response, right? So they use it for COVID, and they're going to use it for all type of incidents, hurricane, major landslide, flooding events, hurricane, and so on. So that also shows how ServiceNow can support a wide range of emergency management capabilities. Right? Back to you, Joe.
Awesome, Mark. Thanks. Yeah, so I wanted to pivot and talk about App Engine, ServiceNow's low-code platform, and how it provides a complete suite of tools and model designed to support a rapid response for people affected by natural and human-made disasters. So while most people know ServiceNow as a ticketing system, way back in 2004, the guy on the screen right here, Fred Luddy, he founded ServiceNow the notion that most, if not all, organizations fail to route work effectively across the enterprise. This is true for state government, federal government, healthcare providers, commercial businesses across the board. Nobody was doing business process very well. So on top of that, he wanted to be able to give the people that knew business process better than anybody else the ability to consume less or non-technical tools, or the ability to consume democratized tooling so that they could provide outcomes and have alignment with their technical teams to deliver a high level of impact. So in order to accomplish this, he went ahead and built this platform. This platform had 3 key pillars. The base foundation is a standardized set of tools that can be used by technical and non-technical individuals alike. The second layer is he built the platform to have a standard way in which users model data. And on top of that, a standard way to which we deliver service on the platform. So those 3 things were brought to venture capitalists, and they said, hey, Fred, that sounds great, but we don't know what to do with it. We need a use case. So what Fred did is he leveraged his developer background and experience, and he realized we can digitize ITIL into what we call a scoped app. ServiceNow can be generalized to route work effectively between someone who needs something and someone who can do something based on the insight that informs action. So our low-code platform excels at digitizing work that flows throughout an organization or across several functions in a unified experience. That's why we call ServiceNow's platform the platform of platforms for business solutions and all workflows. Our unique differentiation is providing you with one platform which shares one data model, one architecture, as well as many built-in powerful capabilities, such as the ability to easily build cross-enterprise workflows, single CMDB, machine learning, AI, and predictive analytics, native mobile and conversational interfaces, and a set of no-code and low-code development tools for anyone to build their own apps. ServiceNow connects organizations, creating a seamless enterprise system of action that integrates silos and systems, which enables great employee and customer experiences, also increases business agility, and unlocks productivity. All of your existing omni-channel experiences will have out-of-the-box integration into ServiceNow from mobile and web to conventional collaboration, and productivity tools such as Slack or Microsoft Teams so you can deliver great experiences to your employees, customers, and partners through the interfaces they love. Right. So it's important to think about ServiceNow as a low and no-code provider and the platform being a role-based system and having the ability to deliver the right information to the right people at the right time. We have the ability to cut up low and no-code across different developer disciplines. That means that you can leverage the governance of the platform to assign different types of developers, different types of tools, and get the most out of your developer experience. So what that could look like is a ServiceNow developer may spin up a scoped application and build the data model and establish security controls before passing it over to a full stack developer who may not know ServiceNow very well, but knows JavaScript. And that full stack developer is going to build a widget or configure the experience. Then they're going to pass it over the line to the business analyst or the no coder who's going to drag and drop that business process into existence using our common development tool to build that and finish off that experience. So this is where people and process connect with product or technology, and that protects your path to production. Nothing goes into production unless you say it does. And this is your opportunity to go through code review processes, examine what's been built, and ensure that no gaps happened along the way. And speaking of hands-on experience, you can join us for a free hands-on low-code app engine workshop to gain experience. They're fun and engaging. We provide free lunch. People end up coming back and attending multiple times. In these workshops, you'll get to learn how to identify the right problems to solve in your organization with low code, hear and see successful examples of how other agencies are driving rapid innovation at scale with ServiceNow low code app engine, practice ideation and rapid low code creation techniques, design and build your very first low code app with your team. And whether you're a pro developer of any level looking to streamline repetitive tasks, a low code business analyst looking for ways to solve unique mission challenges, or an architect ready to drive the next phase of innovation, and also, or possibly a business leader seeking the right automation solutions, this low code hands-on workshop is probably for you. So if you're serious about development on the ServiceNow platform, go ahead and take your phone, scan this QR code you see here on the screen, and it'll bring you to the Caresoft website to register for the next App Engine workshop on April 26th at our ServiceNow office in Tysons Corner, Virginia. Give you a second here to scan that.
Yeah, those workshops are really fun. We have people coming back, like you said, Joe, and we do some design thinking in terms of getting people together in teams and getting them to whiteboard a specific use case that they may bring from their agency, or they just create a brand new one, or they use one that we provide as an example. And they all brainstorm how to solve that problem with ServiceNow. And we do that in a couple of hours. Right, so that's really bringing people together. We have also people sharing that just the fact that bringing people from, sometimes we have people from FEMA, DHS, different agencies of DHS, HHS, multiple agencies together that often don't talk to each other, just being in the same room for that workshop and saying that, oh, we built this app already in my agencies, and this is how we did it. Just the fact that we allow people to communicate and share the experience of building apps on the ServiceNow platform, just that value alone makes people come back to those workshops.
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Very engaging sessions, great conversations and collaboration. All right. Yeah, it's easy. So it's easy to get started with ServiceNow's low-code platform. You can start with modernizing any existing business process done with Excel sheets, or manual task or approval tracking use cases. You can also get ideas from some of these common use case examples shown here on the slide. We have our next poll question coming up here. Okay, poll question number 2. Which of the following software development approaches do you prefer for emergency management? Please provide one answer. Is it low-code development platforms like ServiceNow, or commercial off-the-shelf solutions, or other? The more details, the better. Give you a second to respond to that. Right. We even took a look at emergency management use cases from FEMA and some other agencies, and identified several you can start building with ServiceNow right away, such as planning, operational coordination, screening, search and detection, and many more. The Department of State is actually, as Mark said, they participate in a lot of our workshops, and the Department of State is an excellent example of how an agency hit the ground running with ServiceNow's Creative Workflows app engine and hasn't looked back. I wanted to share a few stories from the State Department might be beneficial for you. So as you can see on the slide, the US State Department delivered 10 or 12 apps in a matter of 3 to 4 weeks. So this use case is around supporting diplomats during COVID.
Paulo, just elaborate on the fact.
The US State Department had been using ServiceNow's low-code app engine to quickly provide critical services to diplomats around the world. These were big apps that tracked every country on the planet and what their COVID-19 requirements were. The app was a huge tracking mechanism that showed what quarantine phase these countries were in, what phase the diplomats' posts were in, and the COVID requirements for each. Once an app was developed, the deputy CIO's team could then iterate on it as new requirements came up. So to the deputy CIO at the State Department, this was a huge success story for the agency. Another State Department story is about how quickly they're able to respond to leave that had been lost during the 2019 government shutdown. So after the 2019 government shutdown, Department of State was able to rapidly build a new low-code app in under 10 days to allow employees to request having their annual leave restored. I know some of you might wonder how this is considered an emergency management use case, but I would argue that anyone's leave who was taken away due to furlough is definitely workforce or employee experience emergency. So the restored annual leave application expedited the review of leave restoration requests from 3 days to 4 hours. An agile iterative development model allowed for rapid accommodation of business need for up to 115,000 people who lost leave in the furlough. This addressed the urgent and critical use case. And a lot of times these types of use cases that are critical and very urgent aren't always complex or complicated. The process workflow is actually pretty straightforward, but had so much impact that Mr. Record, shown here on the slide, shared this story to a large federal audience. Department of State not only developed internal applications that help them operate more effectively and address workforce needs, but they also built applications that had a tremendous impact on individuals and families facing tough times. One such program was the Operation Allies Welcome, OAW effort, which provided resettlement support to vulnerable Afghans who had worked on behalf of the US. The White House contacted the State Department 9 days before the evacuation of Afghanistan, asking for help with an automated solution. Given the State Department's success with ServiceNow, they used App Engine to build the new system in under a week. The low-code app is the system used for tracking, screening, processing, and resettling individuals coming from Afghanistan who before arrival were neither US citizens nor lawful permanent residents. Over 70,000 refugees have been processed and benefited from the program powered by ServiceNow's creator workflows. 70,000 refugees. Recently, the Department of State doubled down on application development on the ServiceNow platform and addressing their need to scale. By upgrading to a modern App Engine license, they're looking to roll out the governance tooling and processes to track their growing application portfolio and expand the number of creators developing on the platform more easily. This growth was also enabled by access to App Engine Studio, which democratizes and enables scalable citizen application development by providing access to all enhanced deployment tools to streamline and standardize their development process, allowing the Department of State to positively impact even more people globally who need help. I believe this is the last customer story that we have to share, and it's for Welcome US. It's a recent national initiative built to inspire, mobilize, and empower Americans from all corners of the country to welcome and support those seeking refuge in the US. They began in 2021 as the US evacuated refugees from Afghanistan and expanded to those fleeing Ukraine, building a durable capacity and ability to welcome other newcomers. This federal program requires displaced Ukrainians fleeing and seeking refuge from the war to be sponsored by a US citizen, permanent resident, other lawful present individuals, nonprofits, educational institutions, or an employer. The Welcome US program needed a new technical platform to bring together interested Americans and individuals fleeing the war in Ukraine who are in need of a sponsor. The new Welcome Connect, a first of its kind platform, was developed with engineering leadership and extensive technical support from Goldman Sachs, ServiceNow, and Infosys. These companies collaborated to provide expertise and support for the initial build at no cost, including design, development, and technical support. ServiceNow is the one hosting Welcome Connect on the Now platform now at no additional cost. So as part of design and deployment of Welcome Connect, Welcome US partnered with ServiceNow to leverage creator workflows to build an anonymous user registration and connection application to tie tens of thousands of people together in an effort to provide refuge for Ukrainians in need of shelter. The solution allows both potential US sponsors and Ukrainian refugees to register and create new accounts on the portal. User experience was a critical piece, so we provided a guided experience for beneficiaries and sponsors to connect. Users can clearly see the tasks they are working, as well as upcoming tasks. This helps guide them through the process with no unexpected steps. Translating pages, forms, and real-time conversation to users' native language were a significant benefit for users. Users were requested to verify their email address. The message is then viewable in multiple languages, so users can view the message in their own native language. Users were also notified when the onboarding process was complete. Users have many ways to access the knowledge base we help build without having to navigate away from their tasks. It is a guided, personalized experience with proper localization, knowledge-based articles about the process, as well as virtual chat assistants. And when a user wants to view information on a sponsor, they must connect with each other, right? So once connected, beneficiary and sponsor can start communicating on the platform with additional sponsorship workflows. So here are the key takeaways from what we've covered so far. ServiceNow is the platform to build fast to respond to emergencies. You can build anything and connect to anything to handle emergencies with creator workflows. You can start building with App Engine, attend one of our low-code innovation workshops in Tysons Corner, Virginia, or let us know if you'd like to host one at your location. Right, over to you, Mark. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
Hey, thank you, Joe.
Sure.
Yeah, let us know if you want to have a workshop organized at your agency. We'll be happy to come on site if you have enough people interested to learn how to build application fast on the ServiceNow platform. All right, so what I'd like to do is spend a few minutes giving you a demonstration of how we can build an emergency alert application very quickly with the ServiceNow App Engine Studio. All right, just to make sure everybody can see my screen, Joe.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So here, this is App Engine Studio within ServiceNow, and App Engine Studio provides that environment that allows anyone of any skill level to build applications very quickly on the ServiceNow platform to solve any kind of business problem. You don't need to be a developer, you just need to have an idea to build this application. So what we have is, for people that are not familiar with it, is we have a quick start that allows me to get started very quickly. I can add a table. It's going to ask me what application I want to add that table to. And I have also the ability to learn the tool directly from App Engine Studio. I don't have to go through other websites or waste my time. Everything is right there. I can click on any of those tabs, bringing me to the information that I need. And then scrolling down, I can see the 4 recent applications that I've been working on. And we can see that not only I have multiple applications, such as system for reward management integration, and also I have NEEM emergency management and NEEM core. These tables show the great benefits of building with App Engine that allows me to reuse applications. This means that you can create an application once and then use it multiple instances throughout the organization. And that really saves you time. That makes sure that you're not building the same thing twice or more, and that you, by using a standard like the NEEM emergency management, right, your application is going to contain a common vocabulary. And having that vocabulary that other applications talk, you'll be able to talk the same language, and that's going to make it easier for sharing data across multiple systems. And it's also, again, it's going to help you respond faster to those emergencies because there is no translation to do between the systems. You're going to talk the same language. Right? And then scrolling down at the bottom, right, we have our template repository, which gives you access to a number of ServiceNow crafted templates that are fully functioning applications that are representative of the most common challenges that we see out there today. And so we look at them, there is a wide variety of templates. And what's pretty great is that that list of templates is continuously evolving and ever growing. So you get a ever growing list of templates in your ServiceNow instance with App Studio. So one of those templates is the emergency alert template. All right, so on any of those templates, I can look at the details, and it's going to tell me what that application is going to look like, all right, once that application is built. And it also gives you some tips about what you need to be able to get this application off the ground. That emergency alert allows allows people to accelerate the reporting and communications during an emergency. All right, so we can see some details about the application. I can navigate through the screens. I can see there was a portal. I can see there was a workspace. And below, it tells me what this application contains. I'll have different types of experience, which are the different type of interface that people are going to use and for who they are for. So for example, there is an experience for employees to self-report, respond to manager requests, and view community alerts. And then there is an interface for managers on the other side to view self-report and also request statuses in case of emergency. There is a lot of agencies, often on the DoD, but also on the civilian side, that still managing personal accountability on the whiteboard or sometimes through SharePoint, but they do all those reporting manually. So this gives you that edge and that way of gathering information much more quickly and in just one central place. And that provides you an experience also for admins to view the overall status of employees during an emergency situation, right? That you don't have to go to multiple places. You don't have to remember the SharePoint sites. Everything is one central place. And on top of that, it gives you a mobile experience, both for the employees to self-report and for the manager to review the statuses. Right? So everything is bundled all together. So I can see all additional details about what the application, how to use it. So let's go ahead and click Use Template. And very quickly, I can give a name to this application. Let's say this is Rapid Response app. And let's say streamline the communications during emergencies. Okay. So as you've seen, there is a lot of assets that are bundled within this template. So this may take a few minutes. So in the interest of time, what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to use an application that I created just before the webinar. So I'm just going to go into my apps, and I had created one here. That's the exact same application. I haven't changed a thing. And we can directly look at what does that application provide. I can see that there are already 53 items in this application. 4 data tables that are connected together to provide a great experience. I have 14 experience. So let's take a look at the portal. And so I'm logged in as a regular person. And I know that this portal is for the manager normally, but I can see that there is the portal is for the employee, so I'm good. I can report an emergency. All right, very quickly, I can see the list of emergency type that are available just, outside the box. Unfortunately, we hear a lot of bad shooting here. So, but I don't see anything about shooting. So let's see what we can do with that, and how fast we can make a change. All right, so I go into my data. So I know that there is that table here. This is the self-report. I'm going to be able to see, like almost like in an Excel spreadsheet, all the fields that are being used by this form. So I can see that there is a status here that is a choice. Submitted, at risk, closed. That's not this one. I can see there is a status matrix, and there is another one here, type of emergency. So I'm going to click this one, and let's go ahead and enter, let's say there's a shooting. I'm going to add this one, and we're going to move it up a bit. Click done. We're going to save this record, and I'm going to go back to my portal, and let's refresh that page. Let's look at the type of emergency, and I can see now my shooting. All right, so out of the box, we have the form, we have the tables to capture, most common type of emergency. If you want to add yours, details here, let's say, let's say, building A, and this is, let's say, today. Right. So this is the desktop version. Right. So just to show you the capabilities, I'm going to jump into showing the mobile application because, typically in case of emergency, you're not going to bring up on your laptop. But just to show you the fact that all those applications are connected onto one single platform, and they can give you one of the the same experience across multiple channels. Let's say right now I'm in danger, let's say, and work status. All right. So I can submit this. The manager can take a look at that. So if I go back to the application and look at the experience, so there was a portal. These are forms that are contained into those screens. And I can see the mobile experience that we're going to take a look at. And I click on preview for the workspace. Right. This one tells me that I don't have permission to access that page. Fortunately, for rapid development, ServiceNow allows us to what we call impersonate a user. That's just for testing purposes. So I'm just gonna impersonate Fred Levy, who is our founder, and so he's a manager, and he's going to be able to connect to the workspace. Let's see. Let's do that again. All right. So now I'm as a manager impersonating Fred Luddy. I can see the total report. I can see the severity of the request. I can see, the team. I can put people in different teams and have a breakdown of where people are. And I can see the number of reports. So all of that was generated automatically. You saw that, pick the template, create the application. I just added one emergency type for shooting, right? One thing that I can do is say, okay, now I got one report, but I want to know where is everybody at, right? So I can say request a report, and I can say, send that report to, all my people here that I know. Or let's say this is another day, and let's say there is a hurricane, and this is the location here is in California. So let me know if you're impacted by the hurricane. And I'm gonna add myself. All right. This is saving, and then I can also send an emergency alert to notify people. Let's say maybe a tornado around the building in, let's say, Palo Alto. Take cover. All right, so now that I save those records, and let's say I need to go back and just stop the impersonation. Right there. Well, let me, because here I'm the manager. All right, so I'm Fred. I can see the community alerts that I created. If I stop impersonating, I'm back as being a regular user or an employee. And I can see right there the community alert. So if there was anything urgent, an emergency that needs to be communicated, I had 0 line of code to write. Everything's right there. I can read that message. Again, you see this button here that says default action button. These are just a template for you to add your own actions, whatever you want the application to do. This gives you a great starting point to build this type of rapid emergency response application. And then because the manager requested a status, right? So I can click directly on the status for the hurricane, and I can say, oh, now I'm good and able to stay, maybe work from home, right? And now we are in the green, right? And if I go to my mobile and open my app, the Now mobile application. So we have all the same capabilities on the desktop available on the ServiceNow mobile app. So I can see my task, everything that I want to share on my mobile app. I can go into my status here to see anything that occurs. I can go into the my status request, and I can report very quickly an emergency, right? So if I was there and I want to say shooting, I'd say building A, and the thing is that I can even talk it with this, and this is that good. I don't know if anyone is affected as well, but let's say unknown, right? And I can submit. So right there, 10 seconds, I was able to submit a shooting emergency alert from my mobile phone, just on one platform. You have the ability to create this app in 5 minutes. From App Engine Studio, use the emergency alert template. All those capabilities would be available right out of the gate. And then you can add your own capabilities, workflows, tailor all those out of the box workflows. Because out of the box, if I go back to App Engine Studio, we looked at the data, we looked at the experience. There are 29 logic and automation, right? So for example, if I send an email, what happens if I want to do a self-report submitted without a manager, right? There is a small workflow here that takes care of while sending that email through the manager. It's up to you to set up the contents of that email, right? So everything is up there available for you to put your own sauce and leverage all those templates very quickly. So I hope that this gives you a good perspective on how quickly you can build an emergency alert application using App Engine Studio. And I'm looking forward to see you at one of the workshop that we organize in our Virginia office. And now we will be able to take any question that you may have. Actually, is there any, or Joe, any question in the chat?
We have one. How easy is it to deploy mobile apps on government devices?
That's a great question. That's not something that I have personally did, but our applications and the ServiceNow instance are FedRAMP compliant. But what I've seen is that there are always some um, different capabilities depending on how the mobile device is provisioned. But we have the ability to use mobile device managers. So if you use Microsoft Intune, for example, to manage all those government-provided mobile device, it's very easy to deploy the ServiceNow mobile app on the government-provided device, and that device is going to be communicating with your ServiceNow instance securely from the ServiceNow mobile app through your instance.
We have another, Mark.
Awesome.
What are the offline capabilities of the mobile app? In a situation where there is no internet connection, is there a way to submit data and sync back when connection is available?
Yes. So the ServiceNow mobile application supports offline mode. So we have the ability to operate the application, create tasks, capture, maybe take a picture of something that needs to be fixed, or a picture of a passport of someone at the border, any type of interaction with the application. And as soon as you get connectivity back through your Wi-Fi, then you will be able to sync the contents of the work that was created with your ServiceNow instance. There are some couple of limitations in terms of what you can do, of course, because you can't go back and query additional data, but you can capture data. You can use the offline capabilities of ServiceNow.
We have one more question, Mark. What license or role does the user need to report emergencies?
So, for example, in this one, this is a App Engine Studio built application, and it comes with a couple of roles: the administrator for this application, the user, and the manager. And then you can create your own roles. So the license is really tied to App Engine Studio. If you want to enhance your emergency response capabilities with App Engine Studio to really tailor those workflows and build your own workflows, you're going to need a license for App Engine, and potentially a license for Automation Engine that allows you to automate, integrate with external systems, or use robotics capabilities to automate the capture or the connection to other systems and push data to the systems. So in short, you will need to have an App Engine Studio license.
And we had another one that just popped up. Is there a recommendation on number of data points to limit in the application? I.e., I noticed that applications were only collecting maybe 6 to 10 points of data or so.
Oh, so there is no limitation in terms of how many data points you can capture. It's just that this form is about capturing an emergency situation, right? So you don't want to overwhelm people in that situation when they need to submit an update about their status. So the less is best. We have customers, like I recently worked with a DoD agencies where they have a very stringent ATO process, and they have 300 questions. And so they are building an application that walks users through 300 questions, so 300 data points, and building a wizard to go from the capturing the network capabilities that are being used by ServiceNow, by the other systems, tracking who's using the application and so on and so forth. So there are multiple layers of information that they capture. So there is no limitation. The only limitation is your imagination and also the user experience, right? Because you can capture 300 pieces of information, but you don't want to present 300 pieces of information in just one single screen. You want the application to be smart. And so we can also do that with ServiceNow.
And I believe that's the last question in the chat, Mark.
Excellent.
I went ahead and put my email address in the chat, folks, for anyone who has questions after our session today.
Yeah, looking forward to hear from you guys. If you have any more questions, reach out to Joe and myself, and we'd be happy to connect one-on-one to talk about your specific questions or use case that you want to try on ServiceNow. So if there is no further questions, thank you very much for attending. Looking forward to talk with you, and have a great day.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.